Hey, what's up? Back again with another deck profile. I know most of my deck profiles are like, you know, on YouTube Shorts, but I got a special one here with my bro here with Chaosdramon Machindramon deck. So let's get into it.
Alright, so I know there's Avid Herpetologist, Analog Man, and Ben out there, and they're kind of like the founding fathers of this deck. But I want to be one of them. I'm going to try to get some tournament scores. I placed second in locals in the past, but that's all locals. I'm going to try to take this and get some real results out of it. And I feel like I've been winning quite a bit with this deck, or at least this build, and it is really early. I feel like over time it will get better. It is rough because of hunters and all these big dudes like the new Shoutmon, Quartzmon that really hits this deck pretty hard, and we got Blue Flare topping law, which sends Machindramon. But I feel like it can play through all that. And also shoutouts to Asagi Draws for these sick Machindramon dice, and of course these Machindra sleeves. I'm gonna deck this whole out in Machindra, and this is pretty much the only deck I play. For the past year, I haven't really played any other decks.
Since BT6.
Yeah. Well, I played this since EX1, and I used to play Alpha, but after Alphamon fell off, I stuck with this. And since EX1, I've been a hard fan. So without further ado, let's get through it. We start with the Dorimon. I feel like this is going to be the egg that I'll stick with. There's a new Dorimon where if he has 4 or more cards under it, you get to draw when attacking. So I'll probably play one of that, but 4 of this for sure. It's not going to change.
Where's the pre-release version?
I have it. I only have 1, but these match better. So yeah, those are the eggs.
Want to start with the rookies first?
Sure, why not? So we'll start with the lower ends. It is actually a pretty interesting rookie count. It's not a lot, it's Machindramon, you don't have a lot of space. But I'll start with the sexy stuff after. We got Sonorizamon at 3. I do run the champion with a +1k, so that makes Chaosdramon at 13, so I can swing. When he's out here, Chaosdramon can pierce. I do have the DP booster Cyborg level 5, so that works too. And I just think this is pretty nasty. I didn't use it before, back when I was playing Ragna, like the old Machindramon, the way you played with Ragna. I played more Dorumon instead. In this deck I have 2. I wanted to run more because I have these sick alt-arts. But for the sake of the deck, I think Sonorizamon pushes this a lot more. One crazy thing this format is that hunters will bottom deck your level 6s. You have the new Shoutmon that'll also, or Shoutmon bottom decks, the hunters will bottom tamer. So what you want to do is when you bring Chaosdramon out, you want it to swing hard. You want to swing for as many checks as you can. You want to wipe a guy. You want to like try to clear as much as you can before he disappears, because you know he's going to. And Sonorizamon actually gets that push in. With the metagame, I have the 4 Chikurimon. I don't want to do this. I hate it. I feel sleazy playing it. But you can't win in a deck or in a format where there's too much cross. There's too much people reducing their play costs. So you're kind of forced to play 4 of this dude. I do want to play more Dorumon because the +1 draw, and then if you have the egg, that's, you know, draw 1, gain 1, which is pretty good. Funny enough, you can hard play this guy and risk, you know, trying to pull this guy. Maybe. It's very, very, very highly unlikely. But I feel like I am forced to play more Chikurimon due to this climate. I don't run any Chumon. I just don't have space for it, and every time I do have a Chumon, it just didn't feel like I needed to do anything with it. I just ran it right into security, like not knowing what to do next with it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, so those are my rookies. That's 9 rookies. Very small, very, very small. Next up, we got our champions. We're gonna go up the chain. Champions is even smaller. You have 4 Gardramon. It's been a staple in Machindra forever, and 3 of this guy. I experimented like crazy. I ran Numamon, I ran Tankmon, I ran freaking the guy who jams, the D Brigade, the Chaosdramon. I do want to try running the new blocker hybrid, mainly because you get rid of the tamers, so your opponent can bottom deck it. Or not bottom deck, bottom tamer it. It's such a weird mechanic, new mechanic, it's hard to get used to.
New form of removal.
Yeah, it kind of dodges the whole Huntress thing. I do kind of want to try that, but the Chaosdramon just helps Sonorizamon swing harder. And this is all turns gain 1k, so I think that's like super beneficial. And this guy is the reason why I don't run Haguramon. I love Haguramon, but every time I had it, I actually discarded it for his effect. This guy's just a little bit better. Before he wasn't, you'd probably run like, some people ran like 2 or 3. But now that you have so many effects that bottom deck this Gardramon, so you can bottom deck it with the BT 11 Machindra, it actually pops off like crazy. You swing, pitch, draw 2. And yeah, so he's a blocker, so sometimes when your opponent puts you at like 3, you can just pass them off at 2, put them on the field, and just wait next turn to Digivolve right over it. And he does combo well with the... I'll just pull him out just because... the reboots this guy. Mainly because if you're at 3, you Digivolve over him. He has jamming, you swing for jamming, draw 2, and then you place a Machindra over it, and then he'll reboot because he has a reboot for his inheritable. So I think that's pretty crazy. And yeah, this guy, you net too much advantage. Alright. So next up, we have the biggest
portion of the deck.
The best part of the deck, where the most of the customization is done. The level 5 cyborgs. So we got 2 Metal Greymon. I was running 3 like Ben was, but I felt like I was seeing too many double copies, and that's an issue when you're trying to you put guys under, and if you have more than 1 copy of a guy, it's just not going to work out. So I just run 2, and what's he's good now is that if you're versing a cross deck that runs Shoutmon has to be under. At the top due to ruling. So if you de-Digivolve and then pop, you can pop the Shoutmon and they lose all the Digivolution cards. So I think that's pretty crazy. So sometimes I actually Digivolve normally with this guy. Even though he costs 4, you swing turn, you can actually like change the whole game just by de-Digivolving and then popping a little guy. And 2 Machindramon.
It's necessary for the format.
Yeah.
Wait, are they both pre-release?
Yes, they're both pre-release. Isn't that sick? I overpaid for them, but I wanted them, so. But yeah, the Machindramon, too crazy. Hard play it, pop a tamer, Digivolve over, swing, pop another tamer. Popping tamers is very necessary, mainly because with hunters, they benefit off of having multiple color tamers. You get rid of colors by just popping it with this guy. So
you can't pop the white tamer.
Yeah. I can't pop the white tamer, but there's also these, all the new stuff. They're all level, or they're play cost of 3 tamers, so you can wipe it out. And I like how when Digivolving he can pop a tamer, his ESS he can pop a tamer, and if there's no tamers you can pop a little guy. So if there's something bothering you like a Chikuri, Minoki Betamon, any of that nonsense, this guy's here to wipe it. Now for the 1-ups, I'll just leave these there. The trio, the EX1 trio, I have these guys, the Metal Mamimon, Andromon, and Metal Tyrannomon. I do use their 1 Digivolving effect quite a bit. I like how they're all different names, so it gives that variety. Blocker, pop a 5 cost or less, and generic reboot. Or not generic reboot, this is just if you're a side machine level 6, you get reboot. I guess that's fine. I don't run any other, or I mean, I do run other top end guys that are not a machine, but that never bothers me in this deck.
Wow, you got all the alt arts.
Yeah, I got all.
How come this one's not a store participant?
Because it doesn't come store participant.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. But then this guy is actually nasty. I kind of like him better than the reboot blocker because these two are only good together, or with the other reboot and blockers. But this guy is actually better than the other guys, mainly because you can swing and pop a 5 cost or less. So if there's any of the low guys are bothering you, the floodgates, you can knock them out with the Metal Mamimon. If they're swinging with multiple dudes, you can have this guy under your guy, run over, and then pop a guy. Or if you have both of these together, you can pop 2 low guys. So it stops your opponent from rookie rushing you, board wiping you, all that nonsense. But yeah, I run 1 of each of the EX1 trio. And as for the rest of them, we run the blocker reboot. We are getting a new Metal Greymon that's generic blocker, and it is a blocker too. I think that's nuts. I'll probably switch it to that. But yeah, reboot blocker. I explained why this guy was good. I don't need to go through it again. I actually run 1 of this. Everyone runs 2. I only run 1 mainly because I want to make room for other things. And also with this guy, he trashes security, +1 security check and +1 security check. So if you have all 3, you're wiping quite a lot of security.
That's like almost 4 security in total.
Yeah, exactly. So 1 would trash 2 checks, the Digimon itself checks, and if you have Sunriza, that checks.
Oh, but this guy's a blocker.
Yeah, this guy's a blocker. I usually put him on top, mainly because if you de-Digivolve him, he's still a blocker. That's a problem with this guy, but we're going to get a new one that is a generic blocker too, so I will wait for that. But yeah, the reason why I want just 1 of this is because I want the multiple names, swinging hard, because you know your top end's going to disappear in this format. So you want to swing as many things as you can, and with that you have the piercing, because you want to guarantee swing over. Also, these 2 together is pretty nasty. At some point in time I wanted to run 2 of this, but I can't. When attacking pop a 4K or less, you barely use it, sometimes you do, but you have so many other ways of getting rid of floodgates that you don't really use that. But the piercing's wild. And to match this guy, I have this Metal Greymon given to me by my bro.
Yo.
And this art is sick.
Have you ever used the effect where you attack for 2 checks?
I did as a joke. If I'm losing, I would. Sometimes I've actually hard played this guy, mainly because of breaking, but that's in the past. This deck doesn't break as much anymore, mainly because
the new tools in the deck gave it more consistency.
Yeah, and BT11 Machine is crazy. But yeah, I have used that, funny enough, just as a joke when I was losing. But the +3K is wild. I was actually running 2 and 2 of this, but with the new, or not the new champion, but with the champion that has all turn +1K, Sunriza doesn't have a problem of swinging with 13. So yeah, this guy's just amazing. And he's also a brick. With one of my buddies from Van City Machindra, shoutouts. He told me he was breaking on this a lot. I didn't notice it myself until I started looking for it. So I was like, oh, I've never bricked on this before. And now that I'm actually seeing it, like, and understanding what he was going through, I'm like, damn, I actually am breaking off this. I just didn't think I was before. But there's ways to cycle it. But yeah, that's that. So that's a lot of level 5s. It is a Machindra deck, so that's going to happen. I run 14, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 14. So that's quite a few.
It's a lot.
I know people push 15, 16, but I think 14 is just a solid number. I don't want to escape that, or else I'm going to lose variety for the rest of the deck.
Yeah, keep going through your Digimon.
Okay, yeah. We'll keep going through Digimon. So the elephants in the room, Chaosdramon X-antibody. I think this guy is nuts. When I was a kid, I love Machindramon, I love Godzilla, and I love Transformers, and I love Digimon. It all kind of fit together. So I actually searched this guy up on Google Images a bunch of times. Oh, he was so cool. But he never actually existed until I saw this card. And I fell in love with just this card in general. And he's pretty crazy because I run... I'll just go through all of them together. We got the olds, Chaosdramon, or not the olds, it's EX3. But yeah, this Chaosdramon, probably the win condition in this deck. He's probably the craziest guy. 3 of this one, and of course they're all pre-release. But nice. I actually only run 1 EX1.
One's all you need. It's golden.
That's golds. I tried to high rarity all of these, but unfortunately, this guy is a secret.
No, he's a super rare.
Oh, he's an SR.
Wait, doesn't he come pre-released though?
No, he doesn't.
That's so sad.
Yeah, he's SR. This is the highest rarity we got. We didn't get any alt arts. But this art alone is actually pretty nuts. But I actually only run one of this. I was running 2 while I was playing Ragnarlord. But now I'm only running 1. Mainly because there's only 2 reasons why you would play this. 1, you're panicking. 2, you're playing it for free off this guy. 3, heavy mobile Digimon. Other than that, you kind of don't want to play them off rip because almost every deck in the format, Bielsa, Hunters, if you're playing the Murvacross with the boosters, the Gravity Crush and Blinding Ray, your opponent can play. If you leave them at 1, they're not worried at all. So many decks can play at 1. So the fact that if you play this guy with only 2 memory and giving them 5 is pretty nuts. They're gonna pop off on you. So if I were panicking, I would play it, or I'd play it at the beginning of the game if I have a full hand of cyborgs. But the majority of the time, I'm playing him for free off this guy. People think it's hard. It's not. I've done it so many times. It's the easiest thing ever. Especially with the new option card, like it's gonna get a little bit easier. But yeah, this guy's broken mainly because this stack here is nuts. So you mill 5, add 1 under, Chaosdramon then goes, add 3 under, Digivolve 3. Chaosdramon over either Machindramon, and this on top, he gains all their effects. So like if it's either on top of this, he's invincible, on top of this, you're searching like crazy. Super good. And his effect of if he were to be deleted, you can trash your opponent's security is pretty wild. I think that's such a good top off to that. Only very rarely I would Digivolve him normally into this. That's if I'm not seeing any of these guys. But him alone is pretty wild. And like once per turn adding a guy under, pretty nuts.
Wait, have you made a stack of these 2 together?
I have actually. It's pretty fun. And the invincibility is also really fun. The only scary part of this format is being either bottom on a tamer or bottom of deck. So yeah, usually when you bring out one of these guys, any of the level 5s or level 6s, you want to swing hard. So that's why I have all these like security checks. That's why I run the Machindramon that no one runs. Yeah. So yeah, and on top of that, 2 Quartzmon. This card is pretty nuts. I see it as the new Death X, but it's so budget that I can't really call it that.
Well, it's only good because there's a lot of tamers this format still.
Yeah, exactly. It stuns every tamer. It stuns the whole board. The fact that you can gain memory after digivolving into him, and the fact that when you swing you can trash more security, it's pretty wild. This guy's so good. I only ever put him on top if I'm done swinging with these guys, so I kind of leave turn with him suspended, but I don't really have to worry about him dying. So yeah, and it's pretty easy to bring any of these guys out. Of course, you're digivolving normally a lot now, mainly because you're not playing with many of this guy anymore. But I've never had I have a Quartzmon in my hands. Like I never see it as a brick. It's always the, oh, I can play that eventually. It's a pretty good card. Yeah.
So we're moving on to tamers and options.
Tamers and options. This is a top stack. And that's done. So for tamers, I'm actually running 3 analog man. Only 2 of them are pre-released. I'm looking for 1 more. But I'm actually kind of wanting to cut this down. Mainly because of hunters. I'm so scared of hunters. But with this guy, he's so magical. When he dies, you bring up another Machindramon, so either another copy of him or the EX1 Machindra. You bottom deck this, so it's now hidden in your opponent. So yeah, sorry for the cut. But yeah, so when Analog Man bottom decks itself, your opponent can't touch it anymore. So that's why I run 3 of this guy. I wish he had an alt art or something, but he's always really cool. But yeah, the bottom deck, and I kind of do want to cut him down. I don't run any of the ultimate connection, but I'm actually thinking about like cutting one out for ultimate connection or cutting two or something. Mainly because having a tamer in this format, especially with hunters, is a little bit scary. But of course, with more deck testing, if my bro would let me, I'll probably make an update a couple tournaments later to see how it goes. But yeah, that's that.
No worries, just let me know and we'll do that. And finally, the option cards. Oh yeah, we still have one more tamer.
Yeah, we still have one more tamer. My boy Izzy. I love this guy. I love this guy when I was a kid. Mainly, my name's Isaiah. Izzy. I love it. But that's not actually why I run it. I run it mainly because it's a memory tamer. And being choked in Machindra is kind of crummy, mainly because you want to digivolve normally now. So being put to 3 is crazy. And organizing the top cards of the deck actually helps so much, mainly because you want to make the perfect stack on this side. So if you play the Izzy, you can go rookie, champion, or, you know, put your rookies and champions where they need to be. But yeah, I may or may not cut it. Having 4 total tamers is a little scary with hunters, but with more deck testing, we'll see. I think it's fine. And lastly, options. 2 black memory boosts. This is another option for me to cut an analog man. Just cause of again, hunters. I sound like a broken record, but it is the deck I'm mostly scared of, this format. But black memory boost actually helps you, like if you're choked, or if you have enough of cards like a champion or something to like gain a memory off of this and then choke them at 3, so then you can have your ultimate in your stack here. That's pretty good. But yeah, I might cut an analog for this, I don't know. And the next set we're gonna get a really cool memory boost where it has like Andromon and Higurumon on it, so it can match the deck more. So yeah, there's that. And now my favorite part of the deck, my absolute favorite part of the deck, these cards: Eradication Attack and Attack of the Heavy Mobile. So Super Eradication Attack, I want to run more so bad. You just don't have the room for it, and it's not, you can't really combo off of it either. You need to already have a big guy out. But yeah, you guys already know it.
Why isn't this pre-release?
It will be pre-released soon. But yeah, Attack of the Heavy Mobile is my Blitz Omni.
Yeah, but why isn't that pre-release?
I don't know if it comes pre-release or not. But yeah, this is my Attack of the Heavy Mobile. If they have no security, you just play a guy at the game. It's pretty crazy. It puts EX1 Machindra to use. And then this thing, if you pop your own BT11 Machindra, you can pop 1 card on their field and then play another Machindra. So I think that's pretty crazy. Of course, we all know that it works so perfectly with this guy. Because you'll just detach to trash 1 and then swing for game. This card's so good, but you can't combo off of it, you can't search off of it, and that goes for both of these. So yeah, seeing them in security kind of sucks. Like, even though you're discarding and popping a guy, you want these in your hand a little bit more. But for the sake of space, I can only run 3 of these kill options.
Yeah, you want to see your cyborgs and Machindramons more.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. This is my first time with long form deck profiles. I might go back to this, but usually this is just a space for you. I do my deck profiles, you know, as a shorts, because I like doing shorts. But now I think I decided that if I want to do long form deck profiles, I'll, like, you know, say hi to my friends, my brother, whoever, so they can have a space on the channel to kind of show off their decks. So again, thanks for watching, and see you again next time. Peace.
We're slick. Bitch, I'm all quiet, just like a gangster. I take the silence 45 and blow his brains out. See what he think about. Want adventures, then I'm JoJo. Put an iron on a rapper and I turn him to risotto. I rip his heart out, make him hold it. Raised by them killers, baby.